My name is Ahmed Bouzid, and I am one of the co-founders of XOWi. I'm going to spend a few minutes to show you a little bit about the XOWi web portal. This is the place where users and developers can go to add content and functionality to their XOWi app. So let's go ahead and log in. Logged in before, so I remember my password. So the first thing I see are all the modules that I have sorted by last modified. I'm going to show you three types of what is called a voice module: quizzes, RSS feeds, and web services. So let me show you first quizzes. I'm going to go to a collection of my modules, a unit called My Quizzes. So this is My Quizzes unit, and it contains the following modules: Latin stems and word capitals. Each one of these is of type quiz. So the app itself that you download comes with thousands of questions, hundreds of quizzes out of the box, but you can also add to those quizzes your own. So in this case, I've added two quizzes, Latin stems and word capitals, and let's take a look at word capitals. Okay, so this is the interface for editing your one of your voice modules. In this case, the word capitals voice module that I added of type Q&A, meaning the interactions are questions asked by the XOWi app and answers provided by the user who listens to those questions. Okay, so its name is that, word capitals. When the user wants to invoke this module, they simply say word capitals. Its status is published private. There are three possible statuses. Unpublished, meaning it doesn't download to my app when I sync the app, and published public, meaning anybody who syncs their app will be able to download this module. Okay, we'll be adding later on, actually shortly, publishing to a group of users, so only that group will be able to get your app if you want to share it with other people. Okay, so for now, let's have this guy be published private. Give it a description for my own information. The unit, which is the collection of modules, in this case is My Quizzes. The type, meaning how the questions are going to be read, can be sequential, meaning the first question is read first, second is second, and so on, or random, meaning randomly. Category, don't worry about that. It's simply a way of categorizing this module. Okay, so let's take a look at the format here. Very straightforward, very simple. A prompt is simply what the system, or in this case what the app will say. What is the capital of France? And response 1, 2, and 3 are the valid answers that the app will listen for. So if you do say Paris, if you do speak Paris, then the app will consider your answer correct. But if you speak anything else, it will say that it's incorrect. There are times where the question could be more than one answer, either phonetically or totally different. But in this case, there's only one capital. In this case, Paris for France, and then here the second question is Canada, and so on. So let me show you how I add a question. So I'm going to click on Add Prompt here, and we'll ask the question: what is the capital of Portugal? Question mark, and I believe it is Lisbon. Okay, so now I have added a question. I'm going to save this guy. I'm going to save this module with the changes I've made. In this case, the change is having added that question, and then there we go. Saved it, and I have added content to the module. I'll show you in when we go to the app video. You'll see when we sync that this question has been added. Okay, so now let's move on to another nifty thing, RSS feeds. I'm going to go to the unit. Again, the unit is a collection of modules. In this case, all of my RSS feeds that I've created are grouped under the RSS feeds unit. And in essence, the functionality here, if you want an RSS feed to be read to you, say you're driving, whatever it may be, then you can simply add it here and later on ask for it by name. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a brand new module, show you the creation of a module, how it goes. I'm going to call it, for example, Flash News. Again, this is what the user will say to invoke this RSS feed. And then we'll have it be type RSS feed. We will save it. We'll publish it privately. This is NPR RSS feed. This is again just for my own information. The units, I'm going to group it under my RSS feed to keep things orderly. I'm going to have this RSS feed be read to me sequentially. And now I'm going to put in the URL, which I have saved. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, that's the URL. I can test it, so we can see if this thing is working well. So I'm getting some JSON from the RSS feed, and then I'm going to say, okay, it looks good. And so now I'm going to save it. Okay, and let's just make sure that I added it here. RSS feed, you should see Flash News right there, Flash News. Okay, and again, I'll show you when I go to the app. I'll show you how this guy is pulled in from the server side. Okay, so that we added an RSS feed. Now let's go ahead and do something even more interesting, in my opinion, which is the web service module. Again, I have my web services that I have created all nicely tucked under the home stuff, right? Home stuff here is simply a collection of modules that allow me to interact with my smart objects. So I have switches and I have sensors and all that I have written middleware for that I can invoke by speaking. So the interesting one to look at here is checking basement module. Okay, so again, it has a name. So when the user says check basement, this module is entered. Type web service, publish it privately, some comment. The unit is home stuff. It doesn't really matter here the type. It depends on the actual JSON that comes back. And so let's take a look here at this section. All right, so when the module is invoked, when I say check basement, this is loaded at runtime, and the app will say lights, presence, or moisture. It's asking a question and waiting for the user to answer. So there are three things I can do. I can ask about the lights, I can ask about the presence, I can ask about the moisture. Are there lights on? Is there anybody downstairs? What's the moisture level? Okay, I have middleware I have created on my own. This could be, so for you could have it anywhere that's web accessible. It happens to be a PHP script that if I invoke this URL and I pass it certain parameters, it will do the right thing. So if I say lights, I will pass the parameter. In this case, because it's one of the utterances, the convention is that it's going to be function equals lights. And then here some other parameters that are basically fixed. In this case, room equals basement is the second parameter that's passed. So the URL in essence that's being invoked is going to look something like this. All right, so this is here's the script. Function equals moisture if I say moisture, and room equals basement. So if I had said moisture, then this is the URL to be constructed. This script will be hit with these parameters, and then if it does the right things, it will return a JSON that can be consumed by the app at runtime. Okay, so in essence, what this allows you to do is to create a voice interaction, right? That is that allows you to say something, to in fact provide parameters, and then have the middleware on the other side return some instructions to the app on what to say. So for example, it might say lights are on, or nobody is in the basement. Okay, to be spoken back to the user. If you want to loop, the convention is you would have here something. So if the parser sees something in the loop prompt, it will go back and ask again lights, presence, or moisture. So it will say something like another instruction and then it will wait for you to say light presence or moisture. Okay, and then but if you want to stop, you can say stop. Those are reserved words, and it will stop. Okay, so let me save that. Okay, now we're back to the main interface. All right, so basically what I showed you is the ability to add questions or add quizzes, add RSS feeds, and then also add web services. Questions are simply Q&As that you can quickly add. There's no coding there. Same thing with RSS feeds. You simply grab the URL of the RSS feed, give it a name, plug in the URL, and you can from that point on simply go to your app and say sync, and then say the name of the RSS feed, and it will play it for you. And then the third one is the most powerful module for developers, because it enables them to point to code on the server side that can interact with this client-side app. In this case, an Android or an iOS app that can parse, consume the JSON returned by the middleware, and then can execute the instructions, basically speaking information and asking for follow-up questions. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me at ahmed@xowi.me. That's ahmed@xowi.me, or you can also use info@xowi.me. I'd be more than happy to engage. Also, if you're interested in playing with this thing, we are engaging people. So just let me know. Right now we have the Android app pretty much stable, so I'll be able to share that with you. In essence, you get the APK. You'll be able to download it, and then fire the app. It will ask you to register. Once you register, you can use those credentials to log into the web portal. Once you log into the web portal, you'll be able to add a lot of the stuff that I showed you, right? We're putting together some documentation so that the developers who are interested in building middleware that interacts with the client app will be able to serve back JSON, well-formatted JSON that can be consumed by the app. So that's coming very, very soon. So if you are watching this video and you haven't watched the other video, which is the app video, please go ahead and do that, because it will show you the what happens on the app side once you sync. So in essence, once you sync the app with your account, you'll be able to pull in all the content that you added, basically all the modules you added through the web portal to your app. Okay, well, thanks a lot for listening, and look forward to your questions. Feel free to contact me. Thanks.